Hello and welcome to my DES308 portfolio video evidence. In this I'm just going to be showing off different builds of my game and highlighting the major changes between each iteration. So in the first build of my game was just a simple platformer. Let's wait for this to load. Players are given instruction at the beginning of just the basic controls, and when they got into the level they had to navigate the levels to find targets. They could shoot the targets with these projectiles when they clicked. That would destroy the target, and then when they destroyed all three targets they would finish the level. And each level had more targets, it had more for the player to navigate, and the goal was to increase difficulty through level size and complexity, as well as the number of targets available. However, I found that from player feedback that this version of the game was too difficult, as players were often unable to make jumps, they didn't seem to be able to jump high enough, the movement wasn't cooperative, and there were several comments that the level timers were too fast, which also corroborated with the data I found. And so in my second iteration I increased the amount of time that the player had in the level, and I made the player slightly faster, jumped slightly higher, just to aid that, but that's all I really accomplished in that. However, my third iteration I decided once players had more time and could move quicker, levels weren't enough of a challenge anymore, and so I wanted to add something else for players to do. So I introduced coins, which players could collect as they moved through a level. And then as they destroyed targets, they could also collect these coins, and it was just a nice little secondary objective for players to do. And as you can see as well, with the movement, it was much easier for players to platform and navigate the level. However, there wasn't really much incentive for players to collect these coins. They didn't help you complete the level, they didn't provide any other benefit, so a lot of players, once they realised this, stopped collecting them. The data shows that they just didn't really see a need to use them, and so they didn't. And so my final build of the game I changed it again, wherein this time coins now have a purpose, which is that levels have less time, so I cut down on the level time available in a level again. However, when a player collects a coin, as you can see, it gives them more time. And so players now had an incentive to collect coins, as it would help them finish the level quicker. I also added these back to menu buttons up here so that players could navigate back to the main menu, just easier to quit the game easier without having to tab out. And that I think is the main point of my game, was providing the players with enough to do once I solved the core problem of ergonomics. And that is one of the primary changes for my final build, was changing what happens when players collect coins. And in my data, you can see that players started to find the game less challenging. However, they still stuck around. You can see that even when they failed a level, they would go back to retry. And I'll explain all that fully in my report.